Verdi's opera La Traviata follows closely the famous drama La Dame aux Camille by Alexander Dumas. The first act shows us a brilliant house party at the home of Violetta, a young and beautiful girl thrown by circumstances into a circle of gay and thoughtless beings like herself who devote their lives to pleasure. Amongst the throng who crowd to pay her homage is young Alfredo Germont, who soon falls seriously in love with her. Touched by the sincerity of his devotion, a new and pure love springs up in her heart, and for the first time she realizes the misery of her position and the false sunshine of the pleasures in which she has basked. The second act takes us to the secluded home of Violetta and Alfredo, where they have been living for 3 months. During the young man's temporary absence, his father arrives, having discovered his retreat. He represents to Violetta that her connection with his son is ruining the boy's career, and the generous girl, really loving Alfredo and being persuaded that she is doing him harm, decides to give him up. Sacrificing her affection and happiness for his sake, she leaves their little home without seeing him and returns to her former life in Paris. I cannot do more than summarize the events that follow, but I am sure that I have told you enough of this interesting story to make you want to read it in detail. Alfredo later meets Violetta at a large social gathering. Not knowing the generous motive that inspired her desertion of him, he publicly denounces her. Degraded and heartbroken, Violetta returns home. The ravages of consumption have long been preying upon her delicate body, and now she is at the point of death. The last act finds her sad romance at its close. Alfredo, too late, learns the truth and hastens to comfort and console her. He arrives only in time to brighten the last moments of her life with the brightest gleams of happiness she has known, and in a transport of joy she dies in his arms. The aria known as Addio del Passato, Farewell to the Bright Vision, is sung by Violetta at the beginning of the last act, just before Alfredo arrives. Poor Violetta has given up all hope of earthly happiness. Oh, how I am changed and faded, she pitifully exclaims, gazing into her mirror. Farewell to the bright visions I once fondly cherished. Already the roses that decked me have perished, and the love of Alfredo is lost, past regained. Ah, pity the stray one, and send her consolation. Thus all of life doth end. The melody to which Verdi has set these pathetic words is simple and sweetly sad, with an almost oriental plaintiveness in its minor cadences. Alice Verlet has portrayed this character of Violetta in many of the leading musical centers of the world, and the beautiful quality of her voice, particularly the notes of the high register, have caused her to be proclaimed everywhere as one of the finest living coloratura sopranos. In hearing her record of Addio del Passato, I am particularly impressed with the curious quality of limpid purity in her upper tone, especially the very last note of the selection.